Project with ARP, but I'm also in Mississippi, and I go to JCIB. And so I tested the effects of the hormone recombinant bovine somatotropin and the RBST and its effect on milk. So what RBST is that it's a synthetic version of this hormone BST, bovine somatotropin, and that's found naturally in cows. It's released by the pituitary gland, and that's what stimulates milk production. But RBST is used commercially because it increases the amount of milk cows produce as well as length of time they lactate. But it's important to know exactly what effect RBST has on humans, because it could not only cause cancer in humans, but it could also aggravate the effects of cancer in cancer patients. So my hypothesis was that since milk with RBST is shown to have greater amounts of the protein IGF-1, then overall milk with RBST would have greater amounts of protein compared to milk without RBST. And milk with RBST either has a lower protein value than milk without RBST, or they're almost equal. When I plotted my T values as T sample values, they all landed within this yellow confidence interval, so there was no significant difference between the milk with RBST and milk without RBST. So in conclusion, statistically speaking, based on my data, there really is no significant difference between milk with RBST and milk without RBST. But as I was doing this project, I did notice some constraints as well as some possible improvements for the future. And one was when I centrifuged the milk, half my centrifuging tubes broke. So, and the lab did not have any more, and there wasn't enough time to order new ones and get them in on time. So in the future, using newer and sturdier tubes would be very helpful and would make the Bradford assay more accurate. But also, each trial for the Bradford assay took at least 2 hours, and with the centrifugation, it took upwards of 3 hours. So it was really difficult to get in several trials. So, and I also had to work with the lab and try to find an available time as well. So that's why I didn't have a whole lot of trials. So it would be helpful to get more trials in. The proper, and as I mentioned before, I did not have a proper blank, and so it'd be helpful if there was a way for me to remove the proteins myself and test run the Bradford assay, or if I could purchase milk without proteins. That would also make the Bradford assay more accurate. And the milk is opaque, as I mentioned before, and that could have also affected the protein readings. So trying to find a way to make it more transparent would help as well. And so this has been a 2-year study. So last year I had a hard time finding milk without RBST, and so I had to go to several stores to find that. But this year I had the opposite problem, and so I could not find milk with RBST. And so I tried to go to the same stores and try to purchase the milk so I can avoid unnecessary variables. But generally manufacturers and stores don't carry milk with RBST and milk without RBST, so I have to go to at least 2 stores. But this year I had to go to several stores because if the stores did carry milk with RBST, they didn't have all 4 different fat contents, so it was really difficult finding all the milk with RBST.